Hi Capricorn, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. It's your reading for the rest of the year for love. I'm reading on behalf of the Cancer new moon that will happen on July 9th. I just thought the energy of the new moon is very in alignment with the rest of the year. So whatever starts with the new moon will keep us going till the end of the year and into 2022, especially in the area of love. I already did an astrological explanation. It's in your Abundant Love playlist in the description. I didn't know what to call it. Anyway, there's an astrological explanation, and I'll explain a little bit for your sign today. But first, let's start with the tarot, okay? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm good, and it's fun to see you at the top of the list. I rolled the dice for the order this time. Okay, so your primary energy is the Three of Wands. So many of you are waiting for outcomes of previous actions. I have a feeling that as the summer carries on and into September, October, you will feel more and more like wanting to act and to influence your future. So take those steps. If you feel you need to, you will have more energy to pursue what you want into the fall and into the winter. Then we have the Five of Cups. I think you already know, some of you guys already know that something is not quite up to par. And the reason you know this, whether you're in a relationship or not, is that your intuition has been off the charts. And so you've been picking up on the fact that something's crazy, something's whacked out, and I think you sense it, and this is what it's showing. You're feeling. I'm not saying it's crazy, but you're sensing it. And if you're sensing it, there's a high chance that something's happening. Then we have the Eight of Wands. You're receiving messages from people. Some of you could be receiving messages from people that are incredibly friendly and like inviting and like encouraging. I think that trust your instincts and go slow with whatever encouragement you're receiving. Why are they asking you for this? What's their goal? Like, why are they trying to achieve that? Then we have the Two of Swords, which is Moon in Libra, and we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. There is a person in your life at this time or coming into your life, so this isn't a singles or taken message, with whom I see you spending a lot of quiet time, and this person has a great appreciation and respect for you. They admire what you do. They admire the type of person you are. It's a very easy interaction. I have a feeling that will take up the majority of the fall and winter. I could see you just sitting quietly with a person and talking together. I think they're very interested in who you are and whatever you do as your job or interest. This person will be asking about it a lot. I feel as though also if you have a man in your life, they might be slow to move in a situation with you because they're still gathering data. They're still gathering information about your circumstances. And especially for those of you who are trying to start a business with someone with whom you have a relationship with, that person may go very slow in that direction. They will ultimately go in that direction, but they're taking their time. And you should take that as a compliment. But the outcome of those situations will be positive. That person will ultimately go with you in this direction. You might have questions whether or not they're going to follow through, whether they're interested and so forth. Yes, they will be interested and things will work out that way. So don't worry about that. I have a feeling that you had waited maybe in the past. Some of you have waited in the past for people that didn't follow through with their promises, especially with things like starting a business and whatnot. And so this is where your fear or apprehension is coming from, because you're wary. You've gone through it before and you don't want to go through it again. So let's go over some of the major transits that are setting up us for love in the next 6 months. There's a conjunction between Mars and Venus. I went through that in detail in several videos. They're linked in the description in that playlist. For you, it's all on the intimate front. Intimacy, passion for others. There's a real chance that you will desire someone physically, and you will be driven towards that person. If you have such a deep desire for someone at this time, there's a real chance that there's a deeper karmic, and I don't mean it in a negative sense, there's a deeper karmic purpose to your relationship, meaning don't run away from it because you think of karmic, when people say karmic. I mean that there's a more profound reason to this interaction. So, for example, you meet someone, you can't take your eyes off of them, they're so attractive to you, and you don't understand why. I could see you very much drawn towards someone on a physical level, but there's going to be a deeper meaning for that, and it's going to resolve in the spring, March 2022, when the next series of conjunctions happens. Mars and Venus will conjoin in, I think, late February, early March twice. So that will be happening in Capricorn, and that's very significant for you in your first house, okay? So you're entering this big cycle of love. The next 6 months, pay attention. The new moon happens in your 7th house of partnership. That's great. There's also a Syrian portal that opens up on July 5th. I'm posting this video on July 5th, so you guys are going to get a good, I'm glad that you came up at this time, because the portal is important for you. It's in your 7th house of partnerships, so good luck can come to you through your partnerships. You're protected. You may take some risks at this time with regard to partnerships. Things will be lucky for you. Things will go your way in terms of timing. So that's all there in Cancer. And the North Node is in Aldebaran in the 6th house. So as part of what you're supposed to be doing with your life, your career, over the next month in July, you are going to have a very clear vision of what kind of behaviors, what you need to do on the day-to-day to have the life that you want. It's going to be not complicated by emotions and all these external things that tend to slow us down. It's going to be very matter of fact, and it's important for us to listen, all of us to listen, because then we know how to live our life to get the life that we want. So pay attention now throughout July. Those kinds of energies are with us. And in terms of relationships, if there's someone who you're meant to have a relationship with, this conjunction with Aldebaran in your 6th house will put you in their way more often on a regular basis. It'll make it very clear to you that you need to connect with this individual, whereas other times maybe things are up to interpretation more. With the Aldebaran transit, there will be much more matter of fact in your face energy. The big scheme on the chart is the opposition between outer planets in retrograde and inner planets direct. And your inner transits, not just planets, are heading to the top of your chart. So in a chart for the summer, July and August, in which there's an emphasis on personal action, personal choice, personal desire, you have the transits in an area where that is flourishing. So you have double down energy for success and being assertive and taking initiative and all those good things. And when you do, you will be very successful. So trust your instincts, go with it. If you feel called to go do something, say it now. Especially in a loving situation, open your heart to others, be open, be communicative, and be patient with those of us who are not, who are more discerning or maybe reserved at this time. Okay, next set of cards, we have the 3 of Cups. Some of you are up for a reunion. I think that many of you have been waiting for this, so it's unsurprising that there's a reunion. So there's no surprise. You have been waiting for this person to come back around, and if you've been waiting for someone, yeah, they're coming in the late summer, early fall maybe. Saturn in Pisces, 8 of Cups in this position. I think that there's a big strain of disappointment that's around some of you, disappointment in other people, feeling rejected and alone. It has been crippling to you. So you have been crippled by feelings of just being lonely, right? Not being able to act and so forth. You're putting that away finally. Finally, you're getting to a place where those feelings, and they're justified, but they're harming you. And so finally those feelings don't have the same intensity. Maybe time has passed since the last time you've been triggered, but you feel a lot more resilient coming into the fall. And this will allow you to be more open to more people. I feel as though if you've been alone, Capricorn, in the recent past, it has been because you have not taken opportunities to be around people because you've been so sensitive and hurt by circumstances that were hurtful. And I'm not saying you're to blame, but it's now time. I think with this 8 of Cups, you won't be as hurt anymore. And so I'm happy to see that for you here. 8 of Pentacles, Sun in Virgo. A lot of people getting this hard work. Maybe Sun in Virgo is coming up at the end of August and September. You could be creating something beautiful for somebody. If you're in a relationship, I could see you building furniture for them or any number of things. I don't know why furniture came to mind, but I feel like you're putting your efforts towards someone to show them that you care about them. You're making them something, and it's something that's sizable, that takes longer than an afternoon to make. I think that you're trying to convince someone to like you, and they're not indifferent, but they're undecided about the situation because there's conflicting information that they have to process. Be beautiful. It's beautiful when you create. It's beautiful when you apply your mastery, whatever you've learned, to practice, but don't try to convince this person. They'll come around in their own way, and you run the risk of putting them off by being too much. They need space, and they need to decide what they want with the relationship themselves. And it's not because they're wishy-washy about it, they just need more information. So they're trying to understand what they have found themselves in and what kind of situation this is. If they're a Moon in Libra, then they're just indecisive, but definitely do not try to make them something to win them over, that kind of thing. If it's just coming from the love in your heart and there's no conflict with someone trying to make a decision about you, then by all means. But if they're making a decision, I would stay away with the gift giving and serenading. Like, don't serenade them, Capricorn. Let them find the information that they need, or help them find it by clarifying things for them. They need to make that decision before they can interact with you in a meaningful way. 6 of Pentacles, you're like, but I want to give. You're like in the generous mood. So I think that there will be a lot of desire from you to give to this other person if you're in a relationship and so forth, or even to your family at this time. You'll be driven by your desire to bring for your family and protect people and give them extra. And I think that it's kind of you're waiting on someone to make up their mind, and so you're at your best. You're really like working hard and really focused on generosity, but it's really not contingent on you. That's really clear. And then we have the High Priestess. This has also come up a lot. I feel as though the resolution to things will come. And I feel like you've been wary about things for quite some time because of past experiences. And so you're in the past, that was not a comfortable feeling bad about the fact someone left or wasn't around. But moving forward, I think what will happen is that you are going to be proven right, and your discriminating thoughts, discerning thoughts, intuition, you're going to be so thankful that you had these experiences and you were focused, because you're going to avoid something that would be extremely more unpleasant than what you were thinking about. So the fact that you are dealing with feelings of rejection or aloneness are making you think about how to approach your life moving forward. And it's those thoughts that are going to protect you from something or send you in a very positive direction. Like, you're not going to say something at a certain time when you could have said it, or not make yourself available for something at the moment you're invited. You're going to have an instinctual response to an interaction with other people that's going to actually seal your success, and it has to do with whoever put you through, okay, in the past. Okay, so next row, let's see, we have the Two of Cups. This is coming up a lot too. This is Venus in Cancer, sorry. Okay, so then we have the Four of Swords. If you have a partner or ex-partner, it really feels like maybe they had moved on with even someone from before you. So the previous person they were with, they went back to, or at least you thought they were dating, like on Facebook it came up or something like that. And I think that that's kind of the low mood that you might be feeling, that someone has moved on with someone better than you. They're not better, it's just self-consciousness. But I think that through this period, this next 6 months, especially in the summer, I think what's been bothering you is the fact that they're like, it's triggering that they're going and living their life and doing these things, and it just makes you sadder and sadder. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to get finally rest from that. I also feel like many of you are going to have a connection with someone from the past, and it's going to be very romantic. If there was anything negative between you and this person before this time, there will be a clearing of that energy, and you'll feel happy to have connected with this individual. It could be a romantic fling, like several days of seeing each other a lot and then not seeing each other again after that. So it could be just like people trying to make nice with each other and spend some time. Maybe they're from far away and they're coming into town, something like that. But for some of you, if you really want something long term, that's not who I'm speaking with. It's for the people who are in a situation where they would be accepting of that. So there's no exploitation or taking advantage of here. The Fool at the center. You're getting ready for a big beginning. This to me looks like packing your suitcases. Now, the planets are moving in that area of the chart where you may travel, but that's not the point here. Energetically speaking, and I think that this is a pattern for many people, we're putting away past circumstances, maybe saying our final goodbyes, and then shifting energy towards making new choices and new directions with new people. And so you're definitely in the thick of it. And some of you are going to change work. That's going to change to an environmental change. So your entire environment will shift as well. And I think that will be overly successful for you, positive. Page of Wands, Sag, Leo, or Aries, secondary transits in Earth, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. I feel as though be careful of a youthful, fiery energy, maybe a fire sign, but not necessarily so. Somebody might be telling you, especially like at work or somewhere where you're in your public energy, telling you stories that will make you sympathize with them, make you feel sympathetic towards them. They will be sweet. They will be convincing, that kind of thing. And I think that they see in you generosity, so they sort of see their mark or whatever, to kind of perform, and maybe they see that you're in a new space and you don't know everyone yet, and so you don't know the lay of the land and so forth, and so maybe they will in some way try to, it won't be big, but I think that they might want to swindle you out of something or get you to pay for something that you know, just for themselves, and they might tell you some stories or deceptions, or maybe tell you partial truths to get something out of you. I see you as in a new environment in the fall. I don't know if it's moving or if it's just changing jobs or careers, or just being physically in a different place. And it's going to be new, and it's going to be full of different people. Then we have the Eight of Swords. So what's real detriment to you is the perpetual negativity, and I'm not calling you negative as a sign at all, but because it seems as though you've gone through a considerable amount of stress, and the residual of that is negativity, and it's not going to work out. You've been conditioned to like doubt how things are going to work out, and so you have to discern between your insight about which things to pursue and which things to avoid, and just being pessimistic in general towards where you're going. Things are coming in for you. Three of Wands was our first card. Resolution is here. We have the Queen of Wands, Sag, Leo, and Aries. So there's a relationship that will fundamentally change. Very likely a relationship in which you haven't seen the person, or there's a reunion after a period of separation. It's going to change your opinion of this person. It's going to change the dynamics with this person for the better. So you'll make up with a person. It could be a man or a female. It seems a bit romantic, or you greatly admire this person. This person has characteristics and qualities that you're like, wow, this person is awesome. So then we have the Seven of Coins. And so I think that there's a feeling here that you have to rush to get it right. Maybe you feel you've missed some time in the way that you were feeling or so forth. But this is saying that like everything goes slow. And especially those of you who are in couple out there, if there's been some kind of a conflict between you and your partner, and you're regretting that you've wasted time with them, and like, will it stabilize, and will it contain, and will it continue with stability? I think that you're fine, and I think you really need rest, and this relationship that you're in is not going to be like a complete devastation, or it's not going to fall apart. It's a long-term thinking situation, so don't get worried about the details. Think about the long term. They have the saver's mindset. I got to save for the future. I have to think of long term. Don't get worried about things that are not there. Put forward the effort. Keep doing you. Keep being generous without concern whether people around you are being generous back. Just do you for the next 6 months. Do the simple generosity. Don't let your mind wander so much and worry and think about all these different things. Have your experiences in love if that's what you're having, and I think that you will really come through this in a good way. But also, this really feels as though, like, don't be naive. This is like a person who tells you things in their immaturity. So they're immature, and they're saying whatever they need to say to get their way. And they don't think of the consequences. Like, the frontal lobe is not developed in people until their mid-20s in some cases. It's not fully fused. I don't remember the exact age, like 22. And the frontal lobe has a lot to do with, consequential thinking. That's why teenagers are not really liable, because they don't have the capacity to think consequentially like adults do. And so this feels that way. Like, just say anything to, you know, like how a kid will say something because they want something, but they're not really evil. They're just being kids, you know. So this has got a similar situation with a little bit more manipulation, a little bit more self-awareness, but still very youthful and very like, I'm going to get this kind of result by being this way. Next card is the Magician here. There's a decision that you have the opportunity to make, Capricorn, in the fall. This is you pulling the trigger on something, making something happen. This will involve a new beginning for you, especially with regard to work. For some of you, an opportunity to move for work is coming on the horizon. And this is going to be a central thought for you for the majority of this time period. Seven of Swords, yeah, get away from this person. I think that this is going to be a big break for you. So it's not really about this one individual. I don't think they're that big of a deal in your life. But I think that for you, what's significant is that you're learning to walk away from individuals like this. So in this situation, you're literally leaving this person behind. You're like, nope, this is not the situation for me. I need to do better. You know, I'm going to not get hooked into this drama and this nonsense. And it's, you know, what's going to really motivate you is the fact that in the past you got so stuck by doing the Six of Pentacles beyond your personal boundaries and getting stuck by helping other people. So when you see this lack of consistency and maturity, or lack of respect back, or just kind of carelessness with your frequency, you're going to walk away from this situation. And I don't know if that's a romantic interest or someone around at work, but there's definitely someone trying to get close to you for that reason. And then we have the Five of Wands. You're walking away from stress, the big pattern, walking away from stress, walking away from people who make you anxious, people who say provoking things to make you upset. I think you're walking towards something that's much more productive in your life. So it's almost like people inviting you to a party to drink or whatnot, and you have homework or you have things to work on at home, and you're like, no guys, I'm gonna go. And it's that action of following through with taking care of yourself is going to feel really good. And in some way you are going to kind of step into this Queen of Wands energy, Sag, Leo, or Aries type person. This is someone around you who you could admire. And it's going to be, I think you're going to kind of like watch out for yourself a lot at this time, Capricorn. There's going to be a lot of focus on like, what am I doing for me that benefits me, not in a bad way towards others, but also being responsible for your work and to yourself. On the bottom is Page of Pentacles. You're in the beginning stages of starting something big financially. There's a lot of energy here of looking at what other people do to be successful and how do they act. A lot of the people who you should be around in the fall in terms of relationships are people who are craftsmen, people who do well themselves, people who work hard, who have positive dispositions. And then you're sort of learning that as well. That's where you will really shine. Personal relationships don't bother. I feel like these like petty little things can get in the way because they're testing your self-resilience. I do feel like if there's something from the past, there's a possibility of a wild relationship, a wild romance that could really sweep you away. I don't see anything negative about it except the fact that it might be a short-term thing for some of you. I think you have something big beginning that's not a relationship, success at work specifically. And so that will overshadow things. And so fitting a relationship in right now in the next 6 months feels a little cramped. That's just my intuition. And so in the spring, in next year, I think you're beginning something big that's going to take up a lot of time. And so naturally you're not forming those close relationships right now because things are already picking up. You're already getting in the mindset of what's beginning. Okay, so let's take a look at what signs are important for you for the latter part of the year. Okay, you have 2 water signs. So we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I know it's kind of hard to tell somebody's rising sign or their moon, but if you can figure it out, and Pisces. So these 2 signs will be important for you. We're just almost finished Cancer season, and Pisces season isn't till next year. So I do think that it's people. I feel like a lot of things are coming through for you in the subconscious, so you're not fully aware of where you're going with things yet. And but you'll come to realize it. And something close to home, like it's like your grandma's peanut butter cookie recipe that you're going to make into a brand, something like that. It's something you already know, and then you're going to think about it differently, but it's going to take some experiences and different people. This is going to be huge, because this is going to be a confirmation for you with yourself that you're not going to get wound up with predatory people. So it's necessary that it happens, because you practice recognizing it for what it is and walking away towards starting something new. Even if you feel like this new thing is intimidating, you will, because I think you're going to be so discouraged by your options, like who's there and who you're interacting with, that you want to take the power back for yourself. I think that you're becoming aware, and the way you take your power back is definitely through your skill and labor. So you need time to refine that and work on that. So this might actually turn out to be something big coming into next year. So don't necessarily push it away just because I said it might be it could be casual for now and then turn to something later. The more that I look at this is looking pretty good. So depending on how you deal with exes and people of the past, but I feel like you'll be welcoming to it. I think that you won't feel bad about it. The timing will probably be bad, meaning that it'll be a bad time in your life, and that's what could make it short. But then there's a possibility that it'll come back later after all this is done. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to make the energy real. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.